केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In just 8 days, Tamil Nadu's political map has been redrawn. Parties that spent over half a century tearing into each other are now squeezed onto the same side of the aisle in the assembly. For the first time in 6 decades, Vijay's TVK has shattered the duopoly of the DMK and the ADMK. Arch rivals are now reduced to sharing the opposition benches. But while the power equations and seating arrangements have changed, some deep-seated prejudices certainly haven't. Like Udaynidhi Stalin's obsession with spewing hate against Sanatan Dharma. Whether as a minister in the DMK government 3 years ago or now as the leader of opposition after a crushing defeat, the clarion call remains exactly the same. Eradicate Sanatan. Don't believe me? Listen in yourself.
வெல்க தமிழ், வாழ்க தமிழ்நாடு, மக்களை பிரிக்கும் சனாதானம் நிச்சயம் ஒழிக்கப்பட வேண்டும். நன்றி, வணக்கம். வெல்க தமிழ், வாழ்க தமிழ்நாடு, மக்களை பிரிக்கும் சனாதானம் நிச்சயம் ஒழிக்கப்பட வேண்டும். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
This, viewers, is the same comment that the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court had called a hate speech with implications similar to genocide. The judgment had stated that if someone says Sanatan Dharma should not be there, it logically implies that followers of that religion also should not be there either. Today, that call to annihilate the followers of Sanatan echoed once again from the floor of the Tamil Nadu Assembly. And not one member rose to object. Congress, an erstwhile DMK alliance partner, says since the NDA has lost the elections, it means Sanatan has perished in Tamil Nadu. And the TVK, whose newly elected Chief Minister Vijay promised beginning of an era of real social and secular justice in his first speech after taking oath, calls it a statement in public interest.
For us in the state of Tamil Nadu, Sanatan Dharma is equated to the caste hierarchy which it perpetuates. So that is why we keep saying that we should do away with caste hierarchy.
They are having that day from the day one of their taking government. Today he has spoken in the assembly anything good for the people, irrespective of whatever things. Definitely we will welcome that.
Edappadi is out, that means Narendra Modi is out, that means Sanatan Dharma in Tamil Nadu is already out. It will not prosper in Tamil Nadu.
Now, how does one even react to this political wishful thinking? The claim that Sanatan is perishing, that it is out because BJP is out, at a time when the BJP has just stormed to power in both West Bengal and Assam, riding on an unapologetic Sanatan plank and fighting against the kind of appeasement politics that was going on in these states. The BJP has stated the DMK and Congress have learnt absolutely nothing from their electoral drubbing. That they still refuse to acknowledge a political reality now visible across India. That voters are increasingly punishing anti-Hindu rhetoric and divisive politics masquerading as secularism.
सनातन पर वार और प्रहार करते करते कई लोगों का बंटाधार हो चुका है। सनातन वहीं है, वहीं रहेगा, लेकिन जो लोग सनातन के खिलाफ जो असहिष्णुता और स्पर्शिता का माहौल बनाते हैं, जो लोग इंटॉलरेंस और अनटचेबिलिटी का माहौल बनाते हैं, वो धीरे धीरे जनता के बीच में अनटचेबल हो जाते हैं।
Last time he said this, Supreme Court called it a hate speech. Stalin did not take any action, in fact promoted him as deputy CM. Congress was with him, never condemned it. And despite losing the elections, despite having an anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan worldview, now there is no learning that he has taken from the election.
The DMK is a serial offender when it comes to antagonizing the Hindu faith and Sanatan traditions. Its ideological parent, the Dravidar Kazhagam, has spent nearly a century attacking Sanatan beliefs. That same hostility was visible when the Stalin government repeatedly attempted to stall the lighting of the Karthigai Deepam at Deepatun, even going to the extent of moving an impeachment motion against the judge who ruled in favor of the devotees. But then comes the election season and suddenly the script changes. At his final rally before Tamil Nadu voted, M.K. Stalin went to extraordinary lengths to insist that the DMK was not anti-Hindu. But the voters clearly saw through the hypocrisy, because when his son was calling for elimination of Sanatan, this affinity was nowhere to be seen.
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம்.
திமுகவை இந்துக்களுக்கு எதிரான கட்சின்னு பொய்யான ஒரு பிரச்சாரத்தை பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. திமுக ஒருபோதும் இந்துக்களுக்கு எதிரான கட்சி அல்ல. எங்க ஆட்சியில தான் ஆயிரக்கணக்கான கோவில்களுக்கு குடமுழுக்கு பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். 7000 கோடி மதிப்புள்ள கோவில் நிலங்களை மீட்டிருக்கிறோம். இப்படி பொய்யான பிரச்சாரம் பண்றவங்களுக்கு ஒன்னே ஒன்று சொல்றேன், 60 வருஷமா திராவிட கட்சிகள் ஆளுகிற தமிழ்நாட்டில் தான் இந்தியாவிலே அதிகமான கோவில்கள் இருக்கு.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the news hour tonight. Are Sanatan baiters refusing to acknowledge the truth that Sanatan will flourish and it's the haters who are being wiped out? That really is the question and the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at night. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Charu Pragya, national spokesperson of the BJP, Suhail Seth, columnist, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author. Also joining the debate, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, leader of the Congress Party, Abbas Haider, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. But my first question goes to Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, political analyst, supports the DMK. And Harish, I just want to ask you, a drubbing in elections and you're back to the old script. I would have thought first day of assembly, after a fresh election, the leader of opposition would talk about the agenda for the people, because there were lots of promises that were made to the people. But what did we see it getting down to? Again, the same Sanatan hatred that is labeled as a hate speech by the Madurai High Court earlier. I just want to ask you, is there nothing positive that anybody has to say as far as people's mandate is concerned? Is Udaynidhi Stalin going back to his 2023 hate speech about abolishing and highlighting not just Sanatan but all those who follow it? And what happened to those promises that we are not anti-Hindu, promises that were made by Mr. M.K. Stalin? All hogwash before elections, and is this the appeasement politics that continues despite elections coming and going?
Navika, first of all, one disclaimer I have to give. You would have called some Hindu panelists to speak on this particular subject, because whenever I appear and give the facts, what Mr. Udaynidhi Stalin has categorically said, then I used to call by names. That is where the Sanatana Dharma's functionalities and the principles works in first order. Having said that, in Bhagavad Gita 4.13, there has been a quote which stated that there is a 4-order based on the gunas and the qualities of karmas.
Don't be so stupidly petty. Don't say Hindu panelists.
See, I
we
said,
are all panelists.
See,
Some
I
of us
said
are
that.
atheists.
I
Don't use
said
words like this. You're supposed to be an intelligent person. Or
Can
at least
I,
you
can
come
I,
across
Sugail said,
like one.
Sugail
How can you have a Hindu panelist?
Sugail said,
Is there a way exactly?
Can I show what are the...
I don't think anybody should be referred to while introducing them as belonging to a certain faith. You are Harish. Harish Ibrahim is your name, and I introduced you like that. Why would you call the other panelists from identify them by their religion?
How ridiculous, yeah? And all this while...
No, come on, Navika. I'm not saying that.
Right guy.
When... hello, Mr. Sugail said, your point of order will come. Speak on that time. Please give me a fair chance. I'm
Point of
saying,
order means I have to
even the
interrupt.
last debates when I'm with other channels,
Got it.
when they
Point of order
quoted,
means I can interrupt. That's why it's called
Sir,
point of order.
Navika, if you can't put him in order, I don't
I will
want to
not
be
interrupt you.
here.
I apologize.
If you can't
Please
keep
go.
him in order,
Please go ahead.
My friend,
You have done that.
you know,
You have done that already.
he's found your opening sentence objectionable and he's objecting to it. Make your point. Why are you singling out people by the faith that they follow? Mr. Suhail Seth has an introduction as being somebody who goes by a name and a profession. You know, you don't refer to his profession, his expertise, his calling in life, but you're referring to him as Hindu panelist. He's taken objection to it.
I can.
Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt. Please go ahead.
I am not single outing him and all. I am saying that you should have called on this subject to speak, because all the subjects which I am speaking on Sanatana Dharma on the various channels, I used to call as why you are calling a jihadist, why you are calling a terrorist, why you are calling blah 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 Islam, Muslim, because as an atheist I am saying here categorically, even if there is any oppression, if there is any inequality in Islam or in Christianity, I will be the first person to oppose. Even I have made so much of reforms in my own home where they practice in Islam, which is repressive in nature. I'm saying the same thing on an open channel, but the people in the social media or people who don't want to listen to the facts, I'm saying right in Bhagavad Gita 4.1.
You are addressing people without naming them, and you are not addressing the people who are on this panel, Harish. And I think that is a faulty assumption to begin with. That people are called me jihadist. Who called you jihadist? Nobody called you jihadist.
They've called you jihadist.
You know, you have assumed that people will call you jihadist when they haven't even opened their mouth yet. You're the first speaker to speak. What happened on other channels? I don't know. I can't carry a brief for them.
Can you?
Navika
Then don't speak. Then don't speak. Then don't say that no one calls like that. Then don't say that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know which channels you go to. On my channel, nobody calls anybody a jihadist before they have opened their mouths.
Navika, come on. Listen to the facts. I'm not saying that which is in your channel. It is on the social perception. This is where the Brahminical patriarchy, that for social order comes into picture. I'm saying, I'm ready to come to the Garvapsi, do the Garvapsi and come to the
Brahmanical, I really don't know where is the Brahmanical supremacy. I don't know how many Brahmins are there, and I have not invited people based on their caste, religion. You say you are against Sanatan because of its divisive nature. You're the one causing the divisions, my friend. I called you here that on the day one of an assembly, one would have thought that there would be a positive agenda. Look at how it has deteriorated in terms of the agenda and in terms of the narrative, in terms of the language and Charu Pragya. Is this the default setting, or is what MK Stalin said before elections that BJP wants us to look like anti-Hindus, we are not? Which one is the default setting?
Navika ji, allow me 30 seconds, because what is appalling today for me is that this is the priority of the Assembly of Tamil Nadu. On day one, when a new assembly is constituted, this is the priority. They don't want to discuss governance. They don't want to discuss the future of the state or the country. They want to discuss eradication of Sanatan. And I think this stems from the frustration of DMK, because they've been eradicated from the minds and people's mandate in Tamil Nadu, and it's been done in such a decisive manner. My only hope today is that the new Chief Minister doesn't pay heed to the kind of conversation DMK has been trying to propagate for the longest time, and they've been shown the door, by the way. So I'm urging the new Chief Minister, you are with Congress, so I'm a little bit worried. Please do not fall for this, because remember and understand that Sanatan is not some ideology. It is not politics, sir. It is our civilizational. It is the very ground we stand on, that is India's identity. It is our very soul. And the future of this country is not going to be built by those who disrespect and insult our civilization, because that has stood for longer than you ever will, longer than you can ever imagine. And India is going to respect and reward those who understand its soul, its integrity, the fact that Sanatan is all inclusive. And you are nobody to come and eradicate it. You're nobody, absolutely. And imagine this conversation happening at a time when the mandate has been so decisive in West Bengal. You see the chants of Jai Shri Ram and the freedom people are feeling in just being able to say it. You see how Assam has consolidated on the basis of its identity, its cultural identity. And this is happening at a time when we are celebrating the Somnath.
It's a country where people are free to follow their faith. But faith is not something people elect governments for, sir. The freedom to follow the faith may be, but to begin your opening remarks by descending into hate for Sanatan is obnoxious, to say the least. And Akhilesh and Ashwini Kumar Mishra ji.
Navika, you have spinned the narrative. Navika, you have spinned the narrative. You have spinned the narrative.
What are you spinning, sir? Sitting here and talking about jihadis. What are you spinning, sir? Which narrative? Anand Ranganathan responding to you, Anand Ranganathan.
No.
Presented to the people of Tamil Nadu.
No, you are not even allowing me to be spoken.
Sir, you are the first spokesperson to, start this debate, and your first statement itself reeked of hate. And I gave you 3.5 minutes after that. You continue to rant, Harish.
After that, no, come on. No.
Anand Ranganathan.
Just interrupted and made sure my essence of conversation.
Navika, can I please? Harish.
I think you named me, Navika. My turn to speak.
Navika, you just took my name.
Yes, Anand Ranganathan.
Turn to speak, Navika. I think you called my name.
Ashwini, I'm coming to you. I haven't even asked you the question before Harish intervened again. Your erstwhile alliance partner's supporter. And, Anand wants to respond to him. So, please give me some time. Anand.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Navika. I am surprised at my good friend Harish. We just met him during the elections. He's such a nice person. Why is he spreading fake news? Number one, nowhere in the Gita is caste or jati mentioned. That's a fact. What is mentioned and what he was conflating with jati and varna was the varna system that is mentioned. And specifically in 932, the chapter, Gita says birth is immaterial. Anybody can rise to the highest place by the deeds. So please get your facts right. And as far as him saying I am an atheist, Navika, if you point out any inequality in Islam, I will say Islam must be eradicated. Shall I quote to you 4:11, chapter 4, verse 11, that says that inheritance of the male shall be twice that of female? Shall I quote you about wife beating and misogyny of 4:34? Now will you say Islam has to be eradicated? So let's not go down that road, Harish. You are a nice person. Remain that. Do not spread fake. I did not interrupt you, Harish, please. Thank you. Navika, please give me a couple of minutes because this issue is so much more important than just mere bickering and pointing out false facts. Udayanidhi Stalin knows nothing will happen. He knows that the Indian state is cowardly and weak. He knows the truth. That we aren't even thinking of dismantling the constitutional apartheid against Hindus through the many acts, articles, judgments, Navika. The truth is, India is emblematic of the hypocrisy, virtue signaling, cowardly stance and double standards of each of our 4 pillars of democracy, including and especially the judiciary. Let me address them one by one. Number one, hypocrisy. Navika, if you ask me the textbook definition of a banana republic, I would say that it is a republic where the Supreme Court stays silent on blatant violation of its own order. It has been more than 3 years since Udayanidhi Stalin wanted to eradicate Sanatan Dharma. 3 years since the Tamil Nadu government has been in direct contempt of the Supreme Court order of 2023 that said the state should immediately file cases in instances of hate speech, and yet nothing has been done either by the state or the Supreme Court. I can only infer that eradication of Hinduism, comparing it to dreadful incurable diseases, calling it a menace upon the world, is not construed as hate speech by the Supreme Court, in which case it begs to question, why did it so ruthlessly come down on Nupur Sharma for merely quoting Islamic scriptures and infer it to be hate speech? If this is not hypocrisy and double standards, I don't know what is.
But Anand Ranganathan, today's speech was made on the floor of the assembly, and there is privilege that a member of the legislative assembly clearly enjoys. So as far as the law is concerned, strictly going by the law, there can be no intervention of any courts. And that is why I come back, Ashwini Kumar Mishra, to the question, don't you learn anything from the people's mandate? When you spread hate, you get wiped out. The Congress has seen that. आप चुनावी हिंदू बनते हैं, आपको कुछ मिलता नहीं है, हासिल नहीं होता है. All the time, if you're involved in only appeasement politics and that's the only formula you know, then the question will be, like in Bengal, where appeasement politics, where it has landed the Trinamool Congress is visible to everybody. Where appeasement politics in Assam has landed everybody is before your eyes. I just want to ask you, on day one of the assembly, why is this the agenda? Why and where is inclusivity?
Navika ji, good evening to you, fellow panelists and your viewers. I am Ashwini Mishra, a proud Hindu, a proud Sanatani. And why I am a proud Sanatani? Because my religion allow me to introspect and allow me to course correct the things which are against the society. Sati Pratha was one of the examples, Dahesh Pratha, and there are a lot of evil practices which has been removed over the period. And in front of God, we believe everyone is equal. So if there are practices in the society where people are treated different based on their different caste, I think that's something is debatable. Having said that, Navika ji, in your opening statement, you said that opposition's definition of secularism is anti-Hindu. No. Opposition definition of secularism is derived from the Hindu Grantha itself. It talks about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, the inclusiveness we were speaking about. We speak about the inclusiveness which is given by our constitution for everyone. So everyone is inclusive as per the constitution. And I think anyone who's speaking about any ill practices in any religion should be welcomed. I don't find anything wrong with that statement. Having said that, Sanatan Dharma itself means it is eternal. So, Navika ji, you tell me, Sanatan khatre mein hai, is that not an anti-Sanatan statement? Or Sita Mata test tube baby hai, is that not an anti-Sanatan statement? Or
fantastic. On the day Udayanidhi Stalin makes his statement, you will recall the earlier ones but not comment on this one. Suhail said, you know, what does that tell you about how they go back into history to recall what happened maybe 5 years, 10 years ago, but not comment? Not take a position. Nobody in the Congress party has taken a position. All they are celebrating is BJP is nowhere in Tamil Nadu. Okay, they are not over there. But is Sanatan Dharma only something that the BJP is the custodian of? What about the 80% Hindus who live in this country and every day are abused for one reason or the other?
Since you're a senior journalist, I just want to ask you before I proceed. Is idiot parliamentary or unparliamentary?
No, unparliamentary normally. I don't know if it is in parliament, but on my show. On my show, it's unparliamentary.
Udayanidhi Stalin is intellectually innocent as far as Sanatan Dharma is concerned. Intellectually innocent is perfect English.
Yes.
The problem, very simply, Navika, is that Sanatan is eternal, Dharma is duty. It actually embraces a lot of philosophies. Harish, it is not about Hinduism, it is not about Islam, it is not about Christianity. It is about a way of life. And it is part of Vedic philosophy. It has come down the ages. To now detract from it, yes, there will be people who abuse religion for their own purpose. We have seen this in politics, we've seen this over time. But that doesn't mean that you tar the entire universe of thought with the same brush. My objection is that we have begun to inflict hate on what should ideally be peaceful, which is religion, way of life, belief, only for pure political partisan reasons. That is my issue. Stalin, I mean, I don't even want to go into, the surname, but one particular Stalin was credited with the maximum number of killings. I'm not for a moment suggesting these gentlemen are anywhere close. No. Udayanidhi is a young man. He's the leader of opposition. To my mind, one expected more from him on the plank of governance, not on the plank of appeasement. I thought Stalin, Udayanidhi, would mark his debut as leader of opposition with telling us what a responsible opposition he will be and what a responsible opposition he will lead. Look at the grace which his father showed, as well as Vijay showed, in the way they met each other after the elections, after the results. That is the grace that is expected. You don't always have to play for popularity and ignite hate. Sometimes ignite love. And that is the issue that is...
That is the whole point. And you're bang on, Suhail Seth. Harish, that is the question I'm asking. Day one, would you want to give a governance model? Would you want to talk about interests of the people? Why would you pick up where you left off 3 years ago after court rulings on this? Is this just because one faith must be insulted, because that seems to be the only agenda that you seem to have? And look where that agenda has led you. After, this term at power, you wanted to be re-elected. Why are you saying that just because the BJP is out, the Hindus may not have voted for you because there is no secularism in spewing out hate towards one religion?
Navika, can you promise me for your 2 minutes query, can I answer without...
Yes, sir. The floor is yours. Please respond.
Thank you. And with due respect to you and Anand sir and Suhail sir, I want to categorically say that our inference for Sanatana Dharma is the caste hierarchy. And that is what our CM, Deputy CM, then Mr. Udayanithi Stalin, even by 2023, he has said that. And even now, after delivering a 30 minutes of speech on what is an opposition party should do, what the existing CM should do, giving all those statements, the last word you have picked it up and blown out of the proportion. In Tamil Nadu, we have a statement called the Sanatana Dharma is equivalent to the 4 division which has been classified as Brahmana, Vaishyas, Satras and Sutras. And those Sutras who are born from the leg. This is what the scriptures tells that. And even my 4 generation before, they will be Hindus and they have been transformed to Muslim community as a religion which has come from an Arab due to the oppression. In any form it may be. The same thing is what the social justice movement have started for, to eradicate the oppression in any form.
My friend Harish, I only want to say that to interpret the civilizational importance of Sanatan Dharma and reduce it only to the caste system is an error of interpretation. Why don't you get it? Why don't you get it? Anand Ranganathan and Charu Pragya, I'm coming to you, Anand. Why would they narrow down the definition of Sanatan Dharma only to the caste system?
Your promise.
This is classic.
Truth hurts.
Harish,
Navika, 1
Harish,
minute.
please, I didn't interrupt.
You have broken your promise.
Harish, I didn't
Harish,
interrupt.
this is not a rally speech. This is a debate with 6 participants. So kindly, proportionate time, proportions, not based on caste system, but equality of participation in a debate is the rule that applies on my show. Anand.
Truth hurts.
Thank you so much, Navika.
Truth hurts, Navika. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Navika. Look, this is blatant bigotry and anti-Hindu hatred cloaked in conceit. When he says in Tamil Nadu, the DMK spokesperson, Sanatana Dharma means the caste system, caste hierarchy. First of all, I corrected him. He was going on and on about Gita having caste. Secondly, I want to ask him, because he also has a name called Ibrahim, he might know a little bit about Islam. Does he know about Ashraf and Ajlaf? Islam also has caste system. Why don't you say you want to eradicate Islam?
No.
Hey, I challenge you openly. Do you have the guts to do that? You don't.
I'm saying, with due respect, I'm saying on the open channel, on your national channel.
Do you know about Ashraf and Ajlaf?
With due respect, wherever there is oppression,
yes or no?
be it in Islam, it
don't give us
eradicated.
motherhood statements. I'm not interested in motherhood statements. I only want to come out and ask Abbas Haider. Abbas Haider, dignity of every faith is important, and that is the constitution of India. That is where that promise comes in from. Abbas Haider, appeasement, to put down one religion versus another religion, is this something that is necessary post-election when a new government, a new assembly is meeting, a new leader of opposition comes in? I just want to ask you, is politics bereft of an agenda for the people? Is it only an agenda of hate that it begins to bring in? Is appeasement the only formula that political parties want to follow?
Well, Navika ji, Samajwadi Party believe in the communal harmony. We believe that every citizen of this country belongs to us, and certainly we believe in the constitutional values and constitutional ethos. And the only party who is doing, appeasement in this country is the Bharatiya Janata Party. But right now, if we are taking statement from an opposition party out of proportion, and if we are, we have outrage against that statement, I certainly do not endorse that statement. I certainly do not stand with that statement. But we should also consider the statement which have been given by the leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party from time to time. That is also part of appeasement. That is also hate speech. We have seen statement from BJP leaders like Ramesh Biduri, like Anurag Thakur, T. Raja, Pragya Singh Thakur, and so many other leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party. But that amount of outrage, that selective outrage should not be there. We believe that if there is a hate speech from any particular leader, that we should not condemn one particular leader and we should not condemn from the other side. What the DMK leader has said here, that Mr. Stalin was basically criticizing the Varna system. That may be his opinion. We may not stand with his opinion, but he does not want to say anything against the Sanatan system or Hinduism. So certainly I believe that his statement should not be taken out of proportion. And Navika ji, this is not about religion.
Why?
Not about
Why should its statement not be taken out of context or out of proportion? Charu Pragya, please respond.
Spokesperson, speak, please.
Yes, Charu Pragya.
Because there should be
Thank
same
you.
standard
No, you keep talking about selective outrage. Let me just remind you. No, one second. I let you speak, Abbas. I let you speak. Now listen to this. Every time you pretend to condemn a statement, but you follow it up with a big but, it is not condemnation at all. It is basically endorsement to that statement, because your condemnation is so conditional. It is as conditional as your secularism is. And your secularism is so divisive. And I ask you this, do you actually have the courage to say abolish any other religion? Abolish any other religion. I'm not even going to take a name.
Have you ever condemned the statement of
Yes,
Anurag
one minute. You can't keep shifting the goalposts. 1 minute, Abbas.
Forget about conditional condemnation or unconditional condemnation.
I'll tell you why I'm not going to do that. Because what...
So
Abbas,
what would you like to say about statement of
with
Mr.
me,
Naresh
or you can
Agarwal?
completely accept the reality of your conditionality, of your selectivism, of the absolute hypocrisy all of you show, because only during elections you start liking Hindus, right? Only during elections you remember all the rituals, you remember all the mandirs, not just you. DMK has been the same. Stalin's statements during elections have been the same.
Religion is a matter of faith for Samajwadi Party, but for Bharatiya Janata Party it is a matter of political gain.
No, do not speak over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many challenges that people of this country are facing, that this country is facing. But what do we hear on the floor of the House when a new assembly is constituted? Well, the same old hate speech. If it's against Hindus, it's kosher. If it's against any other religion, well, there will be a hue and cry that will be created. Is that fair? I'm not saying be partial to Hindus, but treat every religion equally. Why should Hindus only and the Sanatan Dharma be the only punching bag is the question people are asking tonight. And we did a survey. Udaynidhi repeats abolish Sanatan comment. Power wiped out. Hate stays. Yes say 90% of the people watching this show. No say 7%, can't say 3%. 90% people believe this is hate, and despite the fact that lessons have been taught in this election to the DMK, the leopard doesn't change its spots. What other lessons are left? I don't know. May the gods say, whichever faith you believe in. Thank you very much to all my panelists joining me on debate number 1.